What's going on, guys? Stephen here with you, S&E's Garage. Today we're gonna get this thing running right. So before I go crazy starting to address all the coolant leaks and oil leaks and whatever else leaks that this thing has, we want to get it running right to the point that it will pass inspection, because I think that is paramount. There's no point in fixing all the leaks if it's not going to pass inspection. So I got a couple of codes out of this thing that I wanted to share with you guys. I'm going to screenshot them real quick and I'll put them in right now. So we got a P0406, which has to do with the EGR valve, which is on the back of the engine. We have that P1128, the closed loop fueling not achieved bank 1. And then we also have a code for the oxygen sensor, bank 1, sensor 1. And I was waiting for that code to set because for a while it was just throwing the fuel system, you know, closed loop fueling not achieved. And that's more of a causal code, meaning that's a code that's caused by something. So now we kind of know what it's caused by. But whenever I look in live data at bank 1, sensor 1, it's showing closed loop and it's switching lean rich. So whether we have an intermittent sensor problem or an intermittent wiring problem, I'm not sure, but the sensor is so cheap, I was able to get a Denso for like 40 bucks on Rock Auto that I'm just going to shoot the part at it and see if it fixes it. And if it doesn't, we'll take a diagnosis from there. The EGR valve is self-explanatory. The position sensor that is built into the EGR valve has an issue. They're actually super common on these, so again, I'm going to shoot the part at it. Should fix it. And then we're going to go ahead, we're going to take care of the spark plugs and wires today, along with the EGR valve. I'm still waiting on the sensor. So the tune-up on this side is extremely easy. All of our coils, or all of our wires, and the coil is right here on this side. So I did go ahead and order a new NGK coil. I ordered NGK wires, and then I forget if I ordered Denso or NGK spark plugs, but they're one and the same. You know, they're both a very reputable brand of spark plug. I went with whatever was cheaper. So this side's going to be really easy. This side you got some more stuff in the way here, and then our spark plug wires are routed back behind the intake manifold. So what I'm probably going to do is tape the new wires to the old ones and pull them through to get them back to where they go. So let's go ahead. I'm going to share the coil with you. I'll show you what we bought, the wires and the plugs, and I'll link them in the video description down below as well. That way, if you want to buy them, they're right there for you. And if you do buy from those links, it does help us out. So we do appreciate that. All right, guys, so here we have our ignition wires. It's going to be part number RC-CRX067. Here we have our spark plugs. We went ahead and got 6 of these. That's going to be ITL165349. These are iridium plugs. And then here we have our ignition coil. Looks like it's going to be part number U2057. And you'll see it is an NGK coil. And it does have the, you know, the outputs numbered, much like the one that's in here does. So we're just replacing all this stuff for good measure. 270,000 miles. I have no maintenance history on what was and what wasn't done. And it did have a code in there for a P0300 when we bought it, so we're just going to do the whole ignition system. So first and foremost, we're just going to go ahead and pull the ignition wires off of the coil here. So you'll see number 1, 3, and 5 are on the passenger side, so that tells me bank 1 is passenger side, and then 2, 4, and 6 are here on the driver's side, so this is going to be bank 2. So let's go ahead and do bank 2 first. Like I said, they are right here. Alright guys, so you'll see we got these 3 wires off. They're here off of the coil. And now we can very clearly see our spark plugs, which really don't look that bad. So if they don't look bad, we might not change them if they're still good. But let's pull them out and see how they look. If they look decent, I'll just do the coil and the wires, and I'll save the plugs for next time. But let's see what we get when we pull these out. So we're just using a ratchet with a long extension and a 3/8 spark plug socket. I'll go ahead and link one of these spark plug sockets down in the video description below should you need one. These are nice because they have the little rubber insulator that will prevent you from dropping the spark plug. So they kind of hold on to the plug for you. So we're just going to unscrew this very carefully. Okay. And these spark plugs are actually new, but they are auto lights, and I happen to think that auto light is junk. So we're going to put our Denzos in there. Definitely don't feel bad replacing these. So let's go ahead and pull the other two out and go from there. So here are our 3 auto lights, and I'm probably going to keep these. I don't think I'm going to throw these plugs out because, like I said, these don't look like they've been in here long at all. But we are going to replace them with our Denso spark plugs because I know these Denzos are iridium, and they're just a better spark plug. Denso and NGK are some of the best spark plug manufacturers out there. So these are probably like a copper plug. These are iridium. You can see how much tighter that center electrode is. So let's go ahead, thread these in. So like I said, this spark plug socket is going to hold on to the spark plug, so you can go ahead and use the ratchet, or the extension rather, to find the spark plug tube hole. Okay? And then you're going to thread these in by hand in order to make sure that they start. Like so. So now we're just going to go ahead and spin these by hand. And then we're going to tighten these spark plugs down to 12 foot-pounds. To get the torque wrench out, we'll go ahead and torque them all down. Alright guys, here you'll see we're set to 12 foot-pounds. And we're going to torque these spark plugs down. 1. There's 2. There's 3. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead, we're going to pull this coil off, and we're going to set our wires up for this side. The coil comes up with 2 10mm bolts, and then there's a little red safety clip you have to unclip to get the connector off. I'm going to show you that real quick, and then we'll go over there and do it. Alright guys, you'll see we have the coil unbolted, and what I'm showing you there is that little red tab. You have to get in there with a flathead screwdriver or a pick or something of the sort, and more or less pop it up in this direction, straight up, so that you can unplug the connector. So let me work on this. This is the story with these old Jeeps, is none of these things ever like to come apart easy, but we're gonna work this up and then work on getting the connector out. Alright guys, here's our old coil, here's our new coil. We're just gonna compare them, make sure they're right. Everything is numbered correctly here. You have 135 on the right, 246 here on the left. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna plug this back in. We're going to plug in the connector for it, and then we're going to put our spark plug wires for 2, 4, and 6 off of this coil onto our new spark plugs on this side. So here we have our wires, 2, 4, and 6. 2 is going to be in the front, 4 is going to be in the middle, 6 is going to be in the back. We're going to go ahead, plug them into the coils, then down into the tubes, into the spark plugs. Alright guys, so the next thing we have to do down here is you'll see this little organizer here for the spark plug wires. We have to unclip those little arms that are kind of keeping the wires in. You'll see there's one in the front, one there, and one in the back. We have to unclip them. That way when we go to unplug, pull these wires, like I said, we're gonna tape the wires to the old ones and pull them back. That way, as they're going behind, we're gonna pull the new ones in, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and get them unclipped. I'm just gonna use a flathead screwdriver, unclip them, and then we're gonna take it from there. So it actually turns out that it's really not that bad to get the wires back there, so I'm not going to bother doing any of that taping stuff. I already got these wires out and unclipped from that organizer, I guess you call it. So I'm just going to pull the wires out, and then I'll snake the new ones right in the same route that these old ones went. Alright guys, old wires here are out. Here are our new ones. We're going to go ahead, we're going to do these spark plugs, excuse me, right from up here. It's just easier. So all I'm going to do is use a smaller extension with my spark plug socket, and we're going to go ahead and get them out. Alright guys, so we got all 6 of our Autolites out here. Now these are an Autolite 5426. I went ahead and Googled that. These are a platinum spark plug, so they're not copper, but they're not iridium. So at the very least, yeah, we took good spark plugs out of this thing. But now we know exactly when they were done. We know it's going to have a new coil. We know it's going to have new wires. And we're going to know what's done to the Jeep. Now, you're going to find on this side that these heater hoses are in your way for each spark plug. So I've just been kind of moving them out of the way and manipulating them in order to make it work. If you have a bungee cord or something, you can bungee them off to the side just to kind of give you a little more room. But I've been working around them. So we're just going to go ahead. We have one more spark plug to thread in. That's going to be number, I want to say that's number 5 in the back. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yes, we're going to go ahead and put in number 5. And then we're going to torque this side down to 12 foot-pounds. So unfortunately, climbing on top of the Jeep is going to be the easiest way to do this side. So like I said, I'm just going to come in here with my torque wrench now. And we're going to snug these down to the spec, which is 12 foot-pounds. So there's number 5. So let's get our socket off here. Now we're going to go to number 3. Right? Now we're going to go ahead and run our wires. Now we're lucky enough that our new wires are numbered. If yours are not, number 1 is going to be the longest, number 3 is going to be in the middle, and number 5 is going to be the shortest. That being because number 1 is furthest away from the coil, number 5 is closest to the coil. So we're just going to go ahead, we're going to start with number 1, and then we're going to put these in those clips I was showing you, and we're going to, you know, so on and so forth until we're done. And then we'll come back, I'll show you exactly what we did. One of our organizing clips actually broke when we were going to remove it, and cheap plastic, 270,000 miles of, you know, heat soaking and, you know, advanced and high temperatures, so that's, you know, it's going to happen, unfortunately, but we're going to zip tie it back together, and then I'll show you what we got when we're done. Alright guys, so here's a bird's eye view. You'll see here, new coils in, new wires and plugs are in. On the driver's side, you'll see our wires come back. Over here, I had to put a zip tie there so I could still use that bracket. But now we're in a position where we can go ahead and start the Jeep, see how it runs. Alright guys, so if this video helped you do a tune-up on your 2007 to 2011 JK or JKU, please like, share, and subscribe. Like I said, we're going to link all the products that we used in the making of this video down in the description below. We only use quality products here on our channel, so you can, you know, trust what we use. And if you do buy from those links, we do get a small cut, and it does help us be able to do more stuff like this. So again, like, share, and subscribe. See you next time.